Real world graphs, tricky the first time, but very quickly become quite simple and they score quite well. Here's a question. A tank contains 250 litres of water. The water is leaking from the tank at a rate of 5 litres a minute, so that's quite a big hole. A lot of water on the floor. Draw a line on the graph showing the water remaining in the tank. Right, well there's two things that need to be done. First of all, there's no scale here, so we need to decide on the scale of the y-axis. And then we need 2 points on the graph. We need 2 points which are going to be part of this line. And if you've got 2 points, then you can draw any line. And we know it's a straight line because it's losing the same quantity of water every minute. Right, so the top value is 250 and then the volume is going to decline to 0 and we have 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want 250 to turn up about here. So using 4 or 5 of these big blocks. 5's good because 5 goes into 250 quite easily. It's 50. So if this is 50, 100 or 150, 200, 250. So that is my first move. Let's get that there. The second thing to do is to find 2 points, and the obvious one to go to is times 0. Always think about time equals 0 because the answer is in the question. A tank contains 250 litres. Right now, at time 0, the tank is containing 250 litres. So we look at 0, we look at 250, and we can put a spot here. Right. Next one's tricky. There's a number of things we can do. We can just think of a time in the future, and it's going to be somewhere along here, and work out how the volume has changed. So let's have a look. At time 20, what has happened? Well, we're going to be somewhere along that line, and the water lost is 20 times 5. We're losing 5 litres per minute. So that's 100. So 100 from 250, volume is 150. So 150 is there. Okay, we don't need that line anymore. So here is our line, and we can draw that, and we can extend it all the way. Right, which is interesting. Comes down to here. Let's have a little think about what that tells us. That tells us after 50 minutes, there's no water left. Well, that's another point we could have found, really. All the water is gone after 250 divided by 5 litres. 5 litres a minute, 250 divided by 5 equals 50. We could have put a spot here right at the beginning and drawn this straight line. Have a little think about it. Does this make sense? Every minute you lose 5 litres. There's 10 little squares, so 1 square is worth 5, and 1 little square that way is worth a minute. So that's it. That is correct. Let's have a look at another example. A new plant is bought. The plant is 80 centimetres tall. The plant grows at 2 centimetres a day for 50 days. Draw a graph of the height of the plant. Well, 0 to 50 along the bottom. So again, we need to decide on the scale of the y-axis. And we need to find 2 points on the graph. That's all we need to think about. So the y-axis, right, this is along here. It needs to be from 80, but in this case, the plant is growing, so it's going to come up. How high does it get? Well, in 50 days, the max height is 80 plus 2 times 50 for our 50 days of 2 centimetre growth. That's 100. That's a total of 180. So the interesting part is between 80 and 180. Maybe it's good if it goes to 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one answer would be to make this 200. That's 5 blocks, so make each block 40, 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. That works. Other answers are available. I could have made each one of these blocks 50, 50, 100, 150, 200. Might have made the numbers a bit tight. You're not going to be wrong whichever one you use. Right, let's think of 2 points on the graph. Remember, go for times 0. At 0, plant is 80 centimetres tall. So we have Norton. Just write it over there. Time is 0, height is 80. We have a point here. Very useful. What else have we got? Well, after 50 days is useful. We've already worked it out. After 50 days, the height is 180. So somewhere above 50 and there. 180, middle of that. There we go. And there's our line. We don't take the line any further. We don't know what happens after 50 days. It might level off, might shrink, might go up. Could do anything, but that is our line, and that is the correct answer, from 80 at the beginning to 180 at the end after 50 days. Right, so let's have a little think about what you do. First of all, you have a think. You need to find a scale. You can't draw any points without a scale, and you need the maximum and the minimum values that it's going to be, which will enable you to determine your scale. Then you find 2 points. Time 0 is a banker, time 0. The other one is just a guess, times 10, say, or whatever. Depends on really on the bottom axis of time. But whatever you do, you work out your 2 points, and then draw your line. Or as I say down here, draw the graph. That's the easy thing. And then have a little look at it. Check it out. Is it going the right way? Is it right? Is it sensible? Hopefully it will be. So, here is your chance to show your skills. I've got a little question for you, and I will freeze well, you've got 10 seconds, or add 10 seconds to freeze this and then answer it. Let's have a look. A bucket contains 20 litres of water. Water is leaking 2 litres a minute. Draw a line on the graph. And we've only got 10 minutes now because, well, I won't give the game away. Hope you did well. Here's the answer. Bucket contains 20 litres of water. Water is leaking out at a rate of 2 litres a minute. Draw a line on the graph showing the volume remaining in the tank. Right, so we're going from 20, the water's running out. So we need to find the scale, and it's got to go from 0 to 20. Let's have a think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a bit of a... I think that's fairly clear, isn't it? We should make that 20, which means these are each worth 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Yeah, that's okay. Now we find 2 points on the graph. We're going to find time equals 0. When time is equal to 0, there are 20 litres of water. So that's there. What's the other one? What should we do next? Well, let's just throw in an idea of time equaling 10. When time equals 10, we have lost... water lost 10 times 2, which is 20. Therefore, the water left is 0. So we can put a point here and draw our line. Is that right? Well, we start off with 20. We lose 2 litres a minute. After 10 minutes, we're going to have no water. That seems fine. After 5 minutes, half the water's gone. And that's equal to 10. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, these are tricky questions if you haven't done one before. But I'm hoping, just knowing that you have to find the scale and then find 2 points on the graph, that they're less tricky. They're still tricky. Nothing's easy. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't want to subscribe, there's plenty more. Anyway, best of luck.